being here. What are your views?
Well, interesting thing. I mean, between 1958 and 1960, he taught at St. Mary's Training College in Takoradi, so he's not a stranger to Ghana. He married a Ghanaian woman, Sally Hayfron, who unfortunately passed on. So more or less, like, he's coming back home. You know, he's not a stranger at all. But then we all know President Mugabe.
Indeed, I think it would be lovely if he was allowed to say a few words.
No, I don't think he's allowed to say a few words.
It would be lovely from the perspective of a journalist, perhaps not for other people.
Yes, because you're looking
but we are looking at the arrival of the Vice President at the Black Star Square. It's live from there, whilst we're also in the studio, so we're commenting.
We'll know when it steps out.
There he is, I believe.
The pictures
are not as
on Mugabe, quickly, you see. I think Mugabe represents the best.
There he is indeed, my goodness. Resplendent in blue.
In blue, yeah. And the second lady looking very gorgeous, I should say.
She does look rather nice, yes. Indeed she does.
Full of poise, yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's things like this that set us apart from other countries. And
what, our very poised second lady?
No. You know, the way things, you know, coming out very nicely.
I was pulling your leg, of course. We are told that the invited heads of state will soon be joining us. This is the Black Star Square. You're looking at the Black Star Square, the Independence Square in Accra, on Ghana's 60th Independence Anniversary celebrations. It's very calm, you're right. Yes. The mood is much calmer than January 7th. So are we reflecting now?
Yes, we're reflecting. And I agree with Dr. Bampo. You know, these ceremonies sometimes, you know, can get to you. You wonder, why do we have to go through all these rituals? But what you need to know is that how much of these rituals you are able to get through is a direct reflection of your maturity as a country.
That's the parade commander.
Okay.
Yes, they are paying their salutes to the vice president on his arrival.
Thank you. And the parade commander is his name?
The parade commander is Group Captain Lakine, Joshua Lakine. He is an Air Force officer. He's a pilot.
Okay. Thank you for that. We were talking about...
Yes, I was saying it reflects how mature you are as a country. So it may look like just a ritual, but it is not just a ritual. If you're a country in turmoil, you cannot organize something like this. If you did, there will be chaos. If you're a country in all kinds of trouble, you will not have the peace of mind, you know, to be able to pull off a thing like this. If your army is not properly taking care of, your police are in disarray. So these things may look simple, but they are not. They absolutely reflect the fact that we are a stable nation. You see, 3 presidents in other places you will not have.
And Speaker of Parliament,
Speaker of Parliament.
Same row.
All of this together tells you what we've been able to achieve over the 60 years, and it's extremely important. I mean, sorry to say, but if you look at Africa's latest country, South Sudan, they just tried it. They got independence, you know, they set up a government, and then in a few short months, the president and the vice president are back at war, and they are in a famine today. It's very far from us, but the point we need to make is that this is one of the reasons why we celebrate. A nation that is able to pull off a ceremony like this and do it properly, calmly, in an organized way, armed forces properly, you know, arrayed, president sitting down, and everything going well, tells you we are mature, and indeed there's something we have to celebrate. Later I'll get to the Mugabe point I wanted to make.
But state building actually is ritualistic.
I was going to say that Professor A.C. Sutherland, who was part of the first panel, actually used a phrase, if I can remember it properly. She said it was performance of nationhood.
Exactly,
going through these rituals, and I believe the squadron leader also alluded to that going through these things, then it becomes ingrained.
Exactly.
It becomes a part of you.
Because it's the symbolism and all
what are we
some of the
at?
contingents, the security services, and then the school children are behind the security services. So the prison, those in yellow are the prison contingents.
It's very, 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 very interesting. I mean, I had the opportunity to to travel soon after the inauguration of the new president, and everywhere I went, we were getting a lot of accolades. A couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege of traveling with the ex-president to collect an award, and everybody was congratulating him for what had happened in Ghana, and I believe His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is also being giving a lot of props for what is going on in Ghana. So these are things that we take for granted, but then others are learning the hard way that we cannot take it for granted. It's something that we've worked at and we should be proud of.
As part of the visiting dignitaries, I believe is a cardinal sent from the Vatican, and it looks like he's one sitting next to the second lady. If you can look him up, Cardinal Giuseppe Behello is one of the dignitaries visiting from the Vatican. There are a number, of course, of diplomatic missions in Ghana, and we see a number of diplomats and other invited guests. But Squadron Leader, we talked about the contingent. Of course, we await the arrival of various heads of state, and we will try to identify them as they come in. But when you say a contingent, you are now beginning to explain to us it's the police, it's the prison service. Can you give us a bit more?
Okay, the contingents on parade include the Ghana Armed Forces contingents, that is the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. And then we have the Ghana Police Service contingent, the Prison Service contingent, the Fire Service contingent, Immigration Service, Custom Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and then the student contingent, those from the basic schools, and then the senior high schools. So those are the contingents on parade today, a total of 2,258 security personnel, and then the school children.
Lovely, and I believe that is Dr. Izanito Rawlings, Member of Parliament, one of the newest members of Parliament, quite exciting. And Parliament has a number of new MPs now.
Yeah.
I believe it was 140 or so, so it's a new injection of life into, yes.
And it represents a new generation, and fortunately we can only be proud of them. I always say that no matter what you say about our youth, we have the best youth we've ever had as a nation. There are just so many, so you have many more who show things that you will not be proud of, but there are so many more who